Hello and welcome to the Judo Way of Life. My name is David. The video today is going to be slightly different to the ones I usually do. So today I'm going to go and compete in my first Olympic lifting competition. So for those that don't know, the Olympic lifts, or well, weightlifting, the two lifts that you do is a snatch and then the clean and jerk. Just a bit of a background on why, how this is my new hobby, and I'll just give you a little bit of background how we got to it. So last year I did my Australian Strength and Conditioning Association level 1 qualification. Part of that qualification requires you to be mentored by a coach, and the coach that I found, Luke, he coaches at a lifting club called Titans weightlifting club, and they're based in the Sydney Olympic Park, which is about 10 minutes from my house. So I went along and I was doing my hours, and Luke at the end asked me to jump on the platform and basically show him what I was able to do, and asked me if I'd like to continue training, and I said yes. So this was sort of middle of last year, and then we went into lockdown sort of June to October, so I didn't do any real training then, and then did a couple of sessions in November of last year, then took a month and a half off for Christmas, and then so basically I've done about 10 or 12 sessions actually focused on Olympic lifting. So I'm going into this competition today very much as a white belt, so to speak, in terms of my lifting journey. I've not been lifting all that long in the Olympic lifting, and the snatch and the clean and jerk. These are two relatively new lifts for me. And when Luke asked me a few weeks ago, well, not asked me, he didn't ask me, he turned around and said, there's a competition coming up, which is coach speak for, I want you to enter, but I'm going to see what you say, a little test. And obviously I had to say yes. The reason why I had to say yes was because I do the same thing with my players, something I got from my coach Brian. He used to do that, and I now do that myself, and it would be it'd be very hypocritical of me if, when the opportunity arose, I started coming out with these excuses, I've been doing it long enough and all that kind of crap. So going in today with relatively low expectations of myself, I just want to be able to qualify a few lifts. So I think the way it works, I've never been to an Olympic lifting or watched a competition before. I've watched bits on the Olympics, but I don't think, I might be wrong here, but when you watch judo at the Olympics, it's not a good indication of what judo competitions are like in general. So I would imagine it would be the same with the lifting. So I'm going to go down and get a bit of wander around, have a watch of some of the other athletes lifting, get a bit of a feel for it. Then I've got to weigh in, and so I'm competing in the under 109 kilo category. I am currently around 105 kilos, so I think the one below was 102, so I wasn't going to lose 3-4 kilos. It seemed pointless to me. I'm just going to compete for the challenge and to just do some lifts. Hopefully I'll be able to do some personal bests and get some good lifts in, we'll see. But to be honest with you, I just want to be able to actually lift something and qualify a lift. You get 3 attempts, so I think it's snatch first. You get 3 attempts at the snatch, you've got to at least qualify one of those to be able to then go and do the clean and jerk. And again, you get 3 goes at that, and then it'll be your overall from the 2 lifts. So looking forward to it, a little bit nervous, very different obviously than a judo competition. I've done BJJ competitions before, and I would put them in a similar bracket. You're going competing against other people, and yes, okay, in this you are competing against another person, but you're also competing against your abilities with the bar. You can't break the bar. The bar will always win in that respect. You can't stare down or play mind games with the bar when you're lifting, so it's quite different, I think, in that context. So it's going to be, I'm interested to see what it's like and go through it, and it'd be nice to wear me a little leotard rather than a big judo suit, so that'll be interesting as well. Now, I've never done anything like this. I'm pretty useless, so when I go to competitions, I'm useless at getting any kind of footage, because I just concentrate on what I'm doing. So I'll try and get the videos of my lift, because that'll make this video a little bit more interesting. And then I'll do a little bit of a debrief at the end when I get back after competing. So yeah, let's get going and see how it all goes today. Actually, before I get going, so far in training, the best lifts I've done has been a 70 kilo snatch. Failed twice at 75 kilos, but that was more because I got scared throwing the bar above my head rather than actually just not being strong enough. I think I could physically do 75, but we'll see. Just got to get over those nerves. Stop being a little minge. And then the clean and jerk, the best I've clean and jerked has been 100 kilos. I've failed the jerk. I completed the clean at 110, but failed to get the jerk component. So we'll see if we can, get better than that. But like I say, setting the bar very low. Just want to go out there and have a bit of fun, and we'll see how we do. Got back from the competition and had a great time. Just a bit, obviously just a bit worn out from it all. So as I said, I think, I'm not sure if I said this actually before, but I got there nice and early, so I got there about 1ish. So one of the other sessions was just finishing up, I think, and then they did like a medal, the presentation, and then they just got going with the session that was on before the heavyweight men's, which I think was the sort of my middleweight women's session. And so we got a chance to watch them lift, and some very strong women in that group. And then I weighed in at 2, so I weighed 106 kilos because I'm living a nice relaxed life as a coach. And I was competing under 109. The one below that was 102 kilos. So I wasn't going to die for that. And then I think I was the only person competing in that weight group. So there's quite a few in the under 102s, a few in the plus 109s, which seems to be their open weight. So I was the only person in the 100 and under 109s. So got weighed in, sorted out, started getting warmed up. So I didn't really know how to warm up. This is something I'm really strong on with my athletes that I'm coaching, in terms of making sure they have a good warm up. And obviously it's the same thing for this, but it was because it was something I'd never done before. It was quite, I didn't really know when to warm up, or like I knew how to warm up to a certain extent, but just making sure the timing was right, so it wasn't too soon, it wasn't too late, and the way in terms of the lifting order works. So you, when you weigh in, you turn around and tell the person what weight you're going to lift as your starting weight, and then it sort of works out the order. So whoever's lifting lightest will go, and then it works its way through. But because the coaches will change the weights, you think you get 3 changes per lift. So they, and because there's a timer as well, the coaches manipulate that system in terms of, you know, stopping, changing the weights, and they'll take the time. So, you know, you could be, you know, you might not be lifting, but then all of a sudden you're called up because some of the players' weights that they're lifting have changed, and you just get bumped up the line. So you got to be on your toes, you got to be ready, and obviously having a good coach, which I have, he like really looked after me, made sure I was okay. So I got a good warm up, got a good sweat on. And then, as you saw from the videos, I got all 6 lifts, which was one of the goals, was just to be able to, good technique, making sure that I actually got the lifts, got the green. Now, I think I was pretty fortunate, maybe on the second snatch, so what was that, 70 kilo snatch. If you watch that one again, you'll see my elbow, can't remember if it's my left or right, but one of them anyway. So when I get the extension at the bottom, I actually push out. So you're not allowed to push. So my arm's slightly bent and I go like this. So that when you catch it, you're meant to catch it locked out. But I catch it, and then there's ever so slight bend in my arm. And if you look at my face as well, I realised it at the time, and I think that was the only lift where I got one red light. Every other lift I got the 3 white. I think they were being generous. As you also saw as well, I ended up just wearing shorts and a t-shirt instead of the full proper lifting suit, because I wanted to look like an amateur. I think, to be honest with you, that's one of the reasons why they probably give me a little bit of benefit of the doubt with that lift. You know, in terms of the two white, 1 red for the referees, I think was just being kind of them. I feel as though next time I lift, if I end up doing that, I'd probably get penalised for it anyway. It would be considered a no lift, which is fair enough. Those are the rules. Interesting. So from my perspective, I always thought judo is a very lonely sport, and, you know, I always said this to people, or, you know, you're out there on your own, but you're not really out there on your own. You're rolling around with another person. The referee is there. I mean, there's 3 of you stood in the middle of the mat. I mean, there used to be 5 of you with the corner refs. Like 3's a crowd. Anyway, so when you're out there and you're walking out there onto that platform on your own, I mean, all the lights are on you. Everyone in the room is, well, not everyone, but like to a certain extent, the majority, the focus is on you on that platform, and yeah, it's quite an interesting place to be. It's very lonely out there, and, you know, you're looking at that weight, and, you know, there's, I think I maybe said this earlier, but if I didn't, it's you can't break the weight mentally, physically. You know, the weight is always going to win, so you can't like stare it down. If you go to competitions, you can play mind games, you can get into people's heads. To some extent, you can beat them before you've even gone onto the mat, but there's no way you're going to be able to do that with this bar. The bar is always going to win, so it's quite interesting. So you're sort of like competing against yourself. It's very much like, I mean, I was, because there's no one else in my weight group, but even so, it's like you against them. So you've got to. The psychology of it was very interesting. I found it quite peculiar, but like intriguing, and I'm excited to lift again. I think I'm doing another competition in May, which is a couple of months off. So excited to do that. And then, so I mean, as I was the only person in the weight, and then there was no one else, and I got it. So I got my little first place ribbon, which is nice, you know. So that was interesting. But yeah, it was good. I really enjoyed it. And I think Olympic lifting, this style of weightlifting and weight training, really complements judo. It's another sport where you're lifting a heavy open object efficiently, and you're going to develop explosive power and strength. And I really enjoy it. I think it's good fun. I'm enjoying getting strong, and I'm going to keep on doing it. So, and if you're interested in Olympic lifting, I'd recommend just finding somewhere in your local area and giving it a go, or just, you know, buying a bar and cracking on in your garage. Obviously, having a coach makes a big difference. There's plenty of resources online, but having having a gym to go to where there's a proper coach. I'm very fortunate the coach I go to, it just happens to be one of the probably best, or one of the best in the world. He's definitely one of the best in Australia, so very fortunate in that respect, and having a coach just makes a huge difference. So hope you enjoyed this video. A little bit different. I think I called it in the beginning. I was pretty useless when I got down there. I didn't like the videos I got actually of thankfully like the live stream the event, so I managed to find that and skip through it and find my lifts, but I didn't do much videoing when I was there, so I just wanted to concentrate on the task at hand. I'm pretty useless when it comes to that, but I hope you enjoyed the bits of footage that I did get and the lifts. And if you have any questions about Olympic lifting, leave comments in the, down below. And until next time, see you later, guys.